Western and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Public school districts in eastern Kentucky are pulling together to help families in western Kentucky. They are stuffing the bus. Magoffin County Schools is part of it. They collected cleaning supplies only. Anna Berniston shows us why the western Kentucky tornado is hitting so close to home for the town of Salyersville.
As people clean up what violent tornadoes left behind across western Kentucky, Magoffin County Schools, along with other districts, have started a new Stuff the Bus campaign to help those in need.
We know as a small community what it's like to go through such a devastating loss. And we just want to do what we can here to send support to western Kentucky, all of western Kentucky.
Now, while this Stuff a Bus campaign started just this week, they have already seen an outpouring of support and donations come in. But school officials say they're not surprised after this community went through a similar situation with the tornado back in 2012.
Our community as a whole, it took a while to bounce back, but we did. And we're so grateful for that. And we're grateful for all those who lended help to us then, and we're thankful that, you know, we can support them now.
So throughout the rest of the week, they're looking for donations to start filling their buses with supplies, because even as a small community, Arnett says she knows how big of a difference this can make for those in western Kentucky.
We want to stuff the bus with as much as we can for those people that definitely need our support right now.
In Magoffin County, meteorologist Anna Berniston, WKYT.
By Monday morning, all the school districts who raise donations will come together to drive their buses out to western Kentucky to drop off the supplies to several areas. Cleanup, recovery, and the search for survivors continues in hard-hit Mayfield. The damage is extensive, but help is coming from all around the world for the people affected by these tornadoes. Rescue and recovery efforts continue for a fourth night. One cleanup volunteer could not help but share his remorse for the town.
Was there when they had, right after they had their tornado there, and all the trees stripped down of all the branches. It's just very sad. A lot of loss of life here today, or this week.
A lot of heartache in Bowling Green, Mayfield, and across the Commonwealth tonight. Governor Andy Beshear says 74 Kentuckians are confirmed dead in the storms. The governor says the age range has gotten even harder today. People as young as 2 months old and as old as 98 have lost their lives. In a small ray of sunlight in all of this, the governor says it appears only 8 people in the Mayfield candle factory died. The death toll there was expected to be much higher initially. And given the recent tragedy in western Kentucky, Kentuckians are rallying together to gather supplies for those in need. But there is still something that western Kentuckians also need during this time, and that's blood donations. With many left injured, western Kentucky is in need of blood, and blood centers across the Commonwealth are encouraging folks to donate.
You know, we see a lot of pictures of the damage to property, but there's also a lot of injured people out in western Kentucky that need our help. So donating blood is one really good way to do that.
Representative Angie Hatton says the state legislature is coming together to host a blood drive, but there are also several other places to donate blood. We'll have those resources linked on our website at WYMT.com. Well, Mayfield may have been hit by the strongest tornado to ever touch down in Kentucky, but it is far from the only community cleaning up. In Warren County, at least 15 people were killed by an EF3 tornado. Shelby Lofton talked to a family in Bowling Green going through an unimaginable loss as they still search for a missing loved one.
I got on Facebook and her messenger said online.
Sierra Bryant says she checked on her sister-in-law, Rachel Brown, after the tornado blew through Bowling Green.
And I messaged again and I said, "Hey sis, are you okay?" And still nothing back. And then she went offline.
583 Moss Creek Avenue, where Rachel and her family lived, is now unrecognizable.
I imagine going there and seeing it in person, it's going to be even worse.
Bryant says her husband has been getting calls confirming one by one his family members were victims of the EF3 tornado. She says she wants the family of 7 to be remembered as the wonderful people they were.
Miss Vicky was a strong woman. She loved all of her grandbabies.
All 14 of them, including Naraya, Nisa, Nolan, and 4-year-old Niles.
He just started school. And he was so happy, and Rachel has sent me pictures.
Bryant describes Rachel as a devoted mother.
Fearless and just a beautiful heart for other people. That's the thing that stands out the most with her.
Her husband, a supportive and loving man.
He truly adored her and, called her the love of his life.
Bryant says Stephen adopted Rachel's daughters.
He adopted both of those girls and gave them his last name.
While she mourns the loss of what they'll never experience, graduation, learning how to drive, she's holding on to what they had through pictures folks have found during the cleanup.
Such incredible, nice people out there.
So anyway, but like I said, it's worse, better.
Shelby Lofton reporting. A lot of help is arriving in Bowling Green. Community groups, national organizations, and more are on the ground. Many of them are trying to patch up holes and put tarps up before the area gets some rain later this week. Well, yesterday we told you about a semi-truck picking up donations in Perry County for tornado relief out west. That truck was rerouted to Earlington Elementary School, where volunteers were on site to help unload. The largest donation to the school yet. They filled up a substantial portion of the gym where supplies will be stored. Chris Hall and Harley Bartley of Hazard organized the donations and made the delivery.
It helped out a lot. Perry County, the people of Earlington and Hopkins County are very grateful for everything that you all had gave, and they really wanted me to give this to you all to thank you for everything, and that it will never be forgotten.
Hall is organizing another donation drive called Helping Rebuild with Santa on December 21st at the Perry County Park from 4 to 7 p.m. Toys for Christmas will be a focus of that drive. Other important items are listed on WYMT.com. As recovery efforts continue, groups from across the state are moving in to help. Scott County's largest employer, Toyota, donated $500,000 to help do that. President Susan Elkington announcing $250,000 will go to the Community Foundation and another $250,000 to an organization that helps families during the long-term recovery phase.
And luckily it's been a quiet day, not just in the mountains but around the state. That's something we're going to see at least a little bit more of tomorrow before showers work back in. Time-lapse camera from US 119 at Pine Mountain showing the beautiful day we had out there today and the nice sunset we've had out there since as we head into the nighttime hours. Out front here at WYMT, well, we are having some camera issues. I remember that now as I've pulled that camera up. Upper 50s right now and even some lower 50s in some spots. Look at Middlesboro, Jonesville already in the mid-40s out there. They're a little bit ahead of the curve. A few showers trying to head towards West Kentucky, but the air a little too dry to get anything to fall. We're going to continue to see things on the quiet side for tonight. Partly cloudy skies, though, building in as we head into the overnight. Low 40s out there for overnight lows. I'll have the latest on when showers, though, do return to the forecast coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. An awesome aunt. That is how family members described Lois Adams, who died Sunday. State police say foul play is suspected in her death. WYMT's Dakota Maker has talked with a family member in Letcher County who looks back on her life.
She was one of the sassiest, fastest women I ever knew.
That is how Misty Combs describes her aunt, 82-year-old Lois Adams, who died Sunday in her home. State police say foul play is involved.
It was devastating. I mean, it was unreal to me.
Adams was a mom of 4 and a grandmother to many.
She was more like my grandma because, I really never knew my grandma, so she was the one that, she was the oldest and she kept us stuck together.
With a passion for the outdoors and full of life at 82.
She went four-wheeling. She was really active to be 80. Gosh, she was great. Like, I'm really going to miss her. she always had a smile on her face and a hug for everybody.
And now thinking of her grieving children who lost a mom.
I mean, as well as they can, I guess, but I mean, just pray for them.
The family puzzled as they tried to put the pieces together.
I mean, someone brutally attacked her in her home, and we want answers. We want to know who came in and done this to her.
Remembering a beloved soul. In Letcher County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
The family encourages anyone with information to call KSP Post 13 here in Hazard. Well, we're following a developing story this evening. Reports of a semi-truck that crashed into an apartment complex. We've been getting pictures and video of this in the past hour or so. Prestonsburg dispatchers said the truck crashed into Green Acres housing. We're told they're working to get that truck out of the complex. Our Buddy Forbes is there live with the latest. And Buddy, what's going on there right now?
That's right, Steve. Just behind me is Green Acres, the housing complex, and they have since removed the semi-truck that hit the building. But officers with the Prestonsburg Police Department say the truck was unloading across the street when it somehow started moving forward, crossing 2 lanes and hitting the building. Officers say there were no reported injuries at this time, and they consider it a mild situation aside from the damage done to the apartment building itself. They say they will continue their investigation into exactly how this happened and what caused it to move, and make sure that the people and the home are safe. In Prestonsburg, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, certainly looked like a scary situation, but fortunately no injuries reported. Buddy, thank you very much. We'll continue to update you on this on our website at WYMT.com. Well, children in Floyd County got an early gift from Santa just a few hours ago. ARH, Our Lady of the Way in Martin, hosted its second drive-through toy giveaway this evening from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock. So just wrapping up moments ago. Hundreds of cars lined up to enjoy the festivities along with toys. And the children got to meet Mr. and Mrs. Claus for some sweet treats, and the employees of ARH got to enjoy the season of giving by giving back to the community they serve daily.
Oh, this is the highlight of the year really for us. You know, it has been a really tough couple of years for healthcare workers. And so last year with our first drive-through event, it was just such a gratifying experience for all of our employees.
Stumbo says last year's toy giveaway brought in nearly 400 cars, and this year's brought in around the same number. We'll have more from ARH, Our Lady of the Way's drive-through toy giveaway tonight at 11. Following the recent school shooting at a Michigan high school and threats that have plagued several Kentucky schools, WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to educators and those who work alongside them to discuss what we can do to keep students safe from these situations.
In this day and age, teachers have to focus on more than their students' academic well-being, as the idea of classrooms being a safe place is becoming a thing of the past for many.
The most important thing you can do as a teacher is notice what's going on around you, right? Preventative measures.
From school shootings to bomb threats, Executive Director of the Kentucky Center for School Safety, John Akers, says it's important for educators to build impactful relationships with their students.
If the kid really feels that the teacher truly cares for him or her, then they're more apt to listen to what the teacher's saying in time of emergency, or they might say, hey, I heard something the other day that doesn't sound right. You might want to look into this.
Although educators are trained to deal with these things inside of the school, parents, guardians, and mentors must be vigilant about what kids are saying and how they are behaving outside of school.
And I like to say, we'll do our job from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the schools if you'll do your job from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock that next morning, and help us try to work as a community to try to deal with these things.
Akers adds that expressing the consequences of poor actions to students should also serve as a preventative method.
But I think the more that we can hold these kids accountable in the judicial system, maybe that would serve as a deterrent.
Coming together to help keep Kentucky students safe from harm. Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Executive Director of the Kentucky Center for School Safety, John Akers, says schools should continue practicing school safety drills regularly, and adds that Kentucky educators have been doing a great job navigating classrooms throughout the pandemic and he knows they are well equipped to handle any other dangers that come their way. We'll be right back.